Most photographers focus on the wrong thing, on camera settings. While they do matter to an extent, knowing them doesn't make you a great photographer. If you're new here, hi, I'm Hugo, and look, years ago, I was terrible in photography, but now I take photos like this, and I have over 284,000 people following my photography on Instagram, and I have worked with brands such as Sony, Adobe, and Etihad Airways. And in this video, I'm gonna be talking about what is the actual thing that makes you a great photographer. But before that, if you'd like to accelerate learning photography, then make sure to join Focus Notes, my newsletter, from the link in the description below for some exclusive photography insights. Alright, so let's dive in. First, let me talk why settings isn't the thing you should be necessarily focusing on, and then let's go into the thing that actually makes the difference and makes you a great photographer. So, settings. There's two reasons why they do matter, but yeah, they won't make you a great photographer. So the first thing is, of course, exposure. You need to have settings correct to have a good exposure, and if you ruin the exposure, then the photo is gonna look very beginner. So it's important to get right. But nowadays, it shouldn't be too difficult to get it right. Of course, in the beginning, you're gonna make exposure mistakes. And then, of course, when you're more advanced, sometimes you will make them too. But it is much easier nowadays to get the exposure right than it was like a long time ago, because of how technology has advanced and all the tools we have available in our cameras that we can monitor, how things are getting exposed in real time. So that's the first thing now you of course need to get right. And then the second thing regarding settings is that settings affect the story. So what settings you choose is going to affect what's the story you're telling through the camera. So for example, if you have a higher f-stop number compared to if you have a lower f-stop number, the story might be different. For example, if you would shoot at f22 and you have everything in focus, versus if you're shooting at f4, now some of the photo will be out of focus. So the story is going to be different in these photographs. So it does affect the story. But even when you do get the exposure right, and you do some changes to enhance the story with settings, that's not going to make you a great photographer. Because if getting exposure right was the thing that is going to make you a great photographer, then there would be so many people who would be great photographers. Because you can often just get a proper exposure with all the settings. Like if I'm out there and all I would have is phone, I could just fast snap a photo and the exposure is going to be fine. But obviously, that doesn't make you a great photographer. So what is the thing that then actually makes you a great photographer? This is vision. So think about it. You understand the settings, and say you understand how to edit your raw photos. But if you can't see stories on field to capture, then nothing else matters. Right? You need to be able to see the actual stories. So that's the first thing. You need to be able to see what to capture. But even then, that isn't enough, because you need to be able to then know how to compose it. Because if you don't know how to compose it, then you might miscommunicate how great that moment was, or you're just gonna tell a story that you didn't necessarily want to tell with your photos. So you must be able to see it and then know how to compose it. Make sense? And then as the third thing, you must understand the story. So you must be very clear what is the story you want to tell with your photo. Now there's people who are saying like, I don't tell a story through a photo, I just capture a moment. And when I talk of story, there is always a story behind a photo. Like even if it's just a quick snap from your adventures or from your backyard, it does tell something. And when something tells something, it is a story. And to be able to capture and compose something in a proper way, you must be clear what is the story you are wanting to tell. So this is what makes you a great photographer. Being able to spot the story, compose the story, and to be able to do those, you must know what story do you want to express through the photos. So focus on the story. That makes a difference. When you're watching great photographers, yeah, the exposures are correct and the settings are correct, yeah. But what makes them great is their ability to frame everything in a photo and communicate something through the photo. That's the difference. So I hope as a result of watching this video, you aren't gonna be obsessing over settings as much. And you realize storytelling is the thing you should be focusing on and learning. And if you would like my personal help to develop your vision so that you can see the stories and you know how to actually compose them and how to move people with your photographs, I help photographers do this through my Storylines mentorship. Just join the waitlist down below in the description and I will let you know when spots are open. So I hope you found this video insightful, and if you did, then you're most likely gonna find this video also very insightful on the 7 mistakes I see 99.9% of photographers making. So watch that to avoid making those mistakes. Cool? This was awesome. See you in the next one.